BJ, thanks for your time. Wondering if you could shed any more light on severity of Malik's injury, um, and what your plans are, what the technical staff's plans are going forward with replacing that roster, whether it would be domestic or overseas, or what you got in store.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously were alerted to Malik's injury with him having to withdraw. We're kind of still in the beginning stages here of having our discussions amongst the technical staff. I think all options are sort of open and on the table in the terms of how we handle replacing him. So I mean, it's still a little bit too early to tell. It's an unfortunate injury for Malik. He's been in really good form. Somebody that we were looking forward to having in, and we certainly wish him a speedy recovery.
Next will be Henry Bushnell from Yahoo.
Thanks, Michael, and hey, BJ, appreciate your time. As you guys as a staff have sketched out these next 3 years and looked at what sort of games you'll be able to get to challenge this team and prepare for 26, when is the next time after this Germany game that you think you'll be able to play a top-tier European opponent like this? Like, are there going to be any other windows for a game against a European team specifically, between now and 26?
Henry, this is Michael. Give me 1 second on that question, and I can come back to you with an answer on it. So if you have another follow-up for BJ, you can, and I'll come back to you on that answer.
Okay, well, I guess on a similar note then, like, what have you guys talked about as a staff being the importance of a game like this against a team like Germany?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, as we sketch out what our 3-year pathway looks like, we want to challenge ourselves and give ourselves as many opportunities to play as many world-class opponents as we can. I think it's clear with the players that Germany has on their roster, the type of team that Germany is, that they fall right into that bucket. So we value and view them as a high-level world-class opponent that we're going to look forward to challenging ourselves against. Give it, I would say, an opportunity for us to get better against teams like this. In the opportunities that we're given. So we look forward to, a really competitive and great match.
Thanks, Henry. And again, I'll come back to you with an update on that answer.
Got it. Thanks, guys.
Okay. We'll go to Doug McIntyre from Fox.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, BJ. Thanks for doing this as always. As Michael mentioned, Lenny Maloney hasn't arrived yet. And I know Greg spoke a bit about him on Thursday, but could you just expand on how you see him fitting in to that D-mid role, especially with Tyler Adams out now? Thank you.
Yeah, we're really excited to have Lenny come in. He's a player that we've been tracking for a while, and he's been part of a team that was able to come through promotion, and now is having a really good season. He's a key contributor to that team, and that's something that I think I hope and expect him to bring that confidence in. In terms of him as a player, I think he's got a real competitive streak. He's a guy who wants to be in and around the ball. I think there's a physical presence to him in tackling and aerial duels and covering ground, which I think are I guess attributes that we look for a lot of times in that center midfield role. So we're excited to welcome him into camp and see those things and see those attributes come out in person.
Next is Paul Tenorio from The Athletic.
Thanks, Michael, and thanks, BJ. I wonder how much losing Malik for this camp alters the plan for what you guys want to try in midfield, the plan Bs with no Tyler Adams. You guys, you played in Nations League with a more traditional number 10. Gio Reyna played in that role. Without Tyler, maybe that would have been one of the options. I know Gio got some minutes in the Bundesliga this weekend, but does that absence impact how much you guys can play around with different types of formations or roles as you look for those different plan Bs or plan Cs for a national team without Tyler Adams? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we were really excited to have Malik come in. And again, like I said at the beginning, it's unfortunate, that he picked up this injury. But I think a great strength of our entire group is our sort of our versatility and adaptability of a lot of our players. So I expect that we're still going to be able to put these guys in positions that are going to, one, I would say, help our team exploit some areas that we hope that we can versus Germany. And I think, as we've shown over time, we have a lot of players that can play different roles in different positions, and we'll just continue to use that depth because that is one of what we view as one of our strengths.
We'll go to Jonathan Chenoweth from the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, BJ. Hope all is well. To the point again about Tillman. Admittedly, I know you're early in the process of figuring out who's going to replace him, who specifically is going to replace him. But should we expect a like-for-like positional replacement, or would you go elsewhere on the squad in terms of what you might do?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of discussions and a lot of different scenarios that are happening right now within the technical staff. So I can't give you an exact answer whether it'll be like for like, but I can continue to say that I think there's, great versatility amongst already the player pool that we have with guys that can play different positions. So it's just going to come down to, where we feel that we can, have the biggest, which guy can come in and make that biggest impact.
Next is Jeff Carlisle from ESPN FC.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, BJ. Going back to Maloney just for a bit, you said you guys have been watching him for a while. You've seen a lot of him. You talked about how mobile he is. Is his mobility sufficient to play as a single holding midfielder, or do you see him more as a guy who maybe needs a teammate by his side?
No, I mean, I think when you watch him play for Heidenheim, he's shown that he has the ability to do both. So, for us, I think, again, he gives us versatility for playing a lot of different, styles and systems, along with a lot of the other guys that we have. So we think he's got a profile that can help us. And we're excited, again, to get him integrated into the group and integrated into sort of our style as quickly as we can.
Next is Mike Waitala from Soccer America.
Yeah, thanks very much. Can you speak as specifically as you can to the challenges of playing Germany and how that might affect your lineup or your tactics? Or would there be certain players that you would want to have play against Germany that might not be playing if it wasn't Germany? How much of it matters that it's Germany or the specific appointment?
I mean, I don't think. I mean, the way we approach everyone is we do our analysis. Obviously, there's a challenge because there is a new coach, and a very good coach and a coach that will definitely have his team organized just by his past sort of appointments with some of the German clubs. So what we expect is a high quality world class opponent, but at the same time, we believe in the group that we have here. Every player can make an impact. We talk about that all the time, about how everyone's going to play a role in the match, and it's just a great opportunity for all of us to challenge ourselves against a team like Germany, and again, continue to rely on our processes on how we analyze the opponent and try to set our team up the best way we can to exploit that.
Thank you.
We'll go to Kyle Bond from Sporting News.
Thanks, Michael. Hey, Coach. I'm wondering how you guys see Gio Reyna being used in this camp. Obviously, he's still working his way back from injury. Greg indicated, his number one goal, get him back to Dortmund healthy and fit. But he mentioned that Gio could play a number of different positions. So what do you guys see him doing here in this camp and then maybe long-term wise for him tactically?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think integrating Gio is the same way that we integrate a lot of our other players. We watch them weekly in their clubs. I think there's a lot of guys that maybe play different positions with their clubs and when they play here. And again, I'll reiterate the idea that we think that's a great strength. We think that's a great strength in the group, that we have adaptable and versatile players, Gio being one of them. But at the same time, there's a list of guys, where we've played Brendan Aronson in different positions. Even players like Tim Ream, if you look back, we've played Tim Ream at left back before. So, I think for us, it's about creating and giving ourselves the best opportunity to have the best match we can versus Germany. Again, using the ability that we have to analyze them and put in a game plan, and really rely on our depth, our adaptability, and our versatility of, I would say, the entire player pool.
Next will be Charlie Bone from MLSsoccer.com.
Hey BJ, thanks for speaking to us as always. Whenever you guys get together, and I know this time you're back in Nashville where you started the road to Qatar, there's a discussion among fans and pundits about where the national team plays and why. And I know you guys aren't the only voice, but the coaching staff has a big role in that. What goes into those decisions, and how do you guys balance the familiarity of locations that you know and like versus maybe trying to bring the game and the team to different fans in different parts of the country?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's a lot of factors that go into it. We feel fortunate that we have the opportunity to play here again in Nashville. There's great support, in the town, and I think for us it's a combination of a lot of things, whether it's geographically, whether it's the training facilities. All of those different things go into it. So, and each window, I'd say, is unique in the challenges that they bring, whether it's the time of year, and the weather and those type of things. So, but I know that we, right now we've been here already a couple days, and Nashville has been, a really great place for us at the moment.
This will also be the U.S. men's team's first visit to Geodis Park here in Nashville, the home of Nashville SC. We'll continue with Sanjay Sujan-Thakumar.
Thanks, Michael, and thanks, BJ, as always, for your time. It seems like the theme has transitioned with this cycle from change the way the world views American soccer to change soccer in America forever. It sounds like that based on the last camp. Could you talk about what that means to you and what goes into that? Is it just about a deep run in 2026? Obviously, everyone's thinking about 2026, but are there other things that go into that, such as, style of play and maybe the other competitions along the way, or even, games against a high-profile opponent like Germany this weekend? What does that mean to you, and what goes into that? Thank you.
Changing soccer in America forever means, I would say, all of those things that you just mentioned and even more, even bigger. For us, we talk about, this group wants to leave a lasting legacy forever. Inside the country, that players are kids are growing up like wanting to be our players at young ages. And I'll give you an example. We'll know that when a next generation of kids start being named Westons and Tylers and Christians and Matts and all of these guys. That's what we want. We want it to impact all the way across the board, a legacy. And of course, all of those small increments like you speak about in terms of style of play and competing against, the world's best teams, and winning those games and those type of things are all small little steps to this bigger vision that we have, which is to really change it forever, that it lasts many, many generations.
Matt is fully supportive of the idea of kids being named. Matt is here along with Chris, so we'll take one more question for BJ and then we'll let him go, and that'll come from Andrew Jones.
Thank you, Michael. BJ, hope the family and you are doing well. Just want to ask you first of any conversation that you had with Leonard directly in terms of getting his gauge into being a part of this program, and your thoughts on that Saturday of not only great contributions for many of your players, but what Christian and Eunice were going through and how Christian was almost a goalkeeper on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's always funny when you see those guys because so many times you'll see them, they'll mess around in goal and practice in goal after training and stuff. But when you really see it come, to be honest, listen, you don't want it to happen. But it's a fun, those are little fun moments that make each game unique. To your first part with Lenny, I can, the conversations that we've had with Lenny, he is absolutely pumped to be part of the program, and I can say that it's reciprocated that our group is ready to welcome him in, like we welcome all of the guys that come in for their first time. It's a great strength of ours, and I think it's our job to integrate him and welcome him in, and at the same time, I know that he's going to embrace the entire opportunity that he's given.
Thank you, and guys, good to see you again. This question is for Matt. Matt, you were just on the episode of Kicking It with Kate Abdo and Charlie Davies and a few others, and Clint Dempsey. And there were some real conversations on there. Like, I just want to know how that experience was like, because it felt like it was a little bit different than other interviews that you might have participated in.
It was a great experience. I was so grateful to be able to be on the show, and I feel like I was looser than I might be in this type of interview, and I know Charlie really well, and so that made me feel really comfortable to do it. And talking with Kate, she asks really insightful, difficult questions at times, but it was all fun, and to get to mess around with Clint as well was a lot of fun. So it was a great experience, and I think definitely a really great platform for U.S. men's national team players, or any players really in the world, to get to open up a little bit, to talk about real issues, but also show the human side of themselves, and definitely made me feel comfortable to show a bit more of the human side of myself.
And you can see that clip on CBS Sports Golazo later this afternoon. Next will be Ryan Talmadge from Goal.com.
Thank you, Michael. This one's for Chris. Chris, Greg was talking the other day about the center back competition and just like how many of you guys there are in this pool kind of vying for minutes. So you have that going on here, and then you look at the competition you're also facing on the club level, in terms of center backs at Crystal Palace. So how does this camp and this team kind of prepare you for what's going on at Crystal Palace, and then vice versa? How does what's going on at Crystal Palace prepare you for what it's like coming into national team camp?
Yeah, I think playing with and at the same time playing against like world-class players, it really elevates your game regardless of it, if it's here or if it's at Palace. And so, I like to use the minutes I get at Palace to prove why I should play here and vice versa. So I just kind of use every day as a way to get better. And, there is a lot of depth, not just in the center back pool, but also in the whole pool in general. So, being here really just kind of seems to elevate my game.
Next would be Doug McIntyre from Fox.
Thanks, Michael. Hey, guys. Good to see you. A question for each of you. You guys played, I'll start with you, Matt, but you guys played against each other at the weekend. You're on the field. It's an important game for both your teams. Last 15 minutes, you're both on the field. And then you have to switch gears and become teammates. What's that like, switching like that, and, you go from being enemies to being teammates kind of thing. And Chris, for you, how have you seen Matt grow over the last couple of years playing in front of him, both on the field and off? Thanks so much.
Yeah, it's an interesting one going against your national team teammates, but I don't know. You say enemies, but it never really feels like that. You are competing, but you have the healthiest respect possible. And I was really excited when Chris was coming on, because I like playing against my friends as well. So it's really great to be able to be on the pitch and share those experiences and memories with each other. And then I think it really helps our relationship with the national team as well.
Yeah, I'll answer the second half of the question. It's really good seeing Matt, like you said, kind of develop throughout the years. And I wouldn't necessarily say develop, but I think he just kind of has this sense of confidence to him now that I wouldn't say he was lacking, but maybe that he just needed help developing. And it comes with games and it comes with experiences. And so I feel like every time he comes back, you see a different side of Matt in a good way, of course. But no, I think also him being the number one at Forest this year is also going to further his development, and then even the next camp, and I don't know how many camps are coming after this, but every single time I'm sure we'll see a more confident side of Matt.
Next is Jeff Carlisle from ESPN FC.
Thanks, Michael. My question's for Chris. Obviously, you played in Germany for a few years. What do you make of the recent run that they've been on? And I mean, obviously, they've got a new coach in Nagelsmann, but just what do you make of all the changes that team is going through right now?
Answer in German.
Answer in German, yeah. Nah, I think regardless of recent results, we have the utmost respect for Germany, and I don't think anybody looks at on the schedule and sees Germany and think like it's going to be an easy win. I think regardless of what team Germany puts out there, regardless of what's going on in the background, we know they're going to field a strong team. And having played in Germany for 4-ish years, you kind of tend to learn the German mentality, and they're all work no play. So we expect a game like that this weekend, and we're really looking forward to winning.
Next will be Mike Waitala from Soccer America.
Yeah, thanks so much. I was also going to ask about your experience in Germany. Are there any players on the team that you may have known that from your time there, and also just what is it like to play against a national team where you have played in their country and might be familiar with the style and the players?
Yeah, I kind of grew up through the Bayern system, so I think that's probably half the German national team right there. Whether it's Nagelsmann, he's now the coach. He was the coach before I left. You could probably name 7-8 players on that German team that I've played with. But I think one I'm probably closest to is Jamal Musiala. We came to the academy together, the second team, and then eventually into the first team. And so I'm really looking forward to it. Like you said, I did play there, and so I kind of know their system. But again, I think, us as a national team, we try not to focus too much on the opponents, but focus on ourselves and getting better leading up to the World Cup. And so, we're really going to use this game to just continue to grow and to continue to push forward.
Great, thank you.
Next is Stephen Goff from the Washington Post.
Question for you. This is a massive opponent, Germany. It's only a friendly, but still this is a difficult match for you. There's not going to be a lot of chances to play the highest level teams because so many dates over the next couple of years are filled with CONCACAF games. How do you look at a match like this? What do you hope to get out of it? And how important are the few games like this, plus Copa America next summer?
Yeah, these games are obviously very important to us and to our fans, and I think if we want to do well in the World Cup in 2026, we need to learn how to win games like the ones that we have ahead of us. So all the experiences that we're going to get and the opportunities that we have to play these types of profile of games are really, really important. So yeah, I think that's sort of like the messaging, and we'll just keep learning and growing, and then use those experiences to help us in our CONCACAF matches, and it's a long road to 2026.
We'll go to Henry Bushnell from Yahoo.
Thanks, Michael. Chris, I got another question for you just about the game you guys played against each other on Saturday. What was it like playing in midfield? And was it something that you had trained at all? And I guess more importantly, was it fun?
Fun wouldn't necessarily be the word for it. I think there's a reason I'm a defender. I was hoping I was going to get on the ball and maybe chip Maddie from half field, but it was good. Actually, I had trained earlier in the week. We have a few injuries at Palace right now, and so Roy came up to me and was like, you just be ready to play wherever. And by wherever, I thought he meant the back line, and then the 6 came up. So, I'll do whatever to get on the pitch, and I'll do whatever for the team to help us get a result. But it was definitely an interesting experience. And yeah, I guess we'll have to see if I get more minutes.
You do well, man.
A few tackles, a few tackles. That's what I'm good for. I don't know about going forward,
Destroyer.
but the defense, that's what I'm for.
We'll go to Charlie Bone from MLSsoccer.com.
Hey guys, I hope both of you will take this one on. There's a little bit of controversy in the German media about them playing these games in the U.S. and why they're traveling what they perceive as to be this huge distance to the United States in the middle of the club season, which I kind of think maybe rates what you guys go through on a regular basis, flying across the Atlantic. So I was just wondering if you could give us a little sense of what it's like for you guys to make these trips, the physical and mental sort of load that imposes on you, and how that sort of that aspect of coming into a camp like this.
Yeah, I think, like you said, there is a bit of a physical and mental load on us, but it's something that, we gladly take on. It's an honor to play for our country, and, you know, we do have to take, 7, 8 hour flights across the Atlantic, like you said. So I'm really interested to see how the two teams we're going to be facing, how they approach that, how they're going to take it on. But again, like I said, it's an honor for us. So I think, it is challenging, but also it's a challenge that we'll gladly do over and over again.
100% agree. I think for us, we think about our time with the national team. We always are really looking forward to it, and everybody that's here really wants to be here. And so you'll do whatever it takes and go wherever you need to go in order to play and to have these experiences. And it's such an honor to wear the crest. So I think I never look at it as like a chore, and maybe physically and mentally it can be a little bit tiring, but I mean, overall it's more exciting, because you want to put a lot of effort and energy into playing for the team. So I think we all really look forward to coming back to America and taking on those flights and the travel.
Next to Jonathan Chanawal from the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Thanks, Michael. Hello, gentlemen. Chris, this one is for you. We all know how many ups and downs you've had in recent years, and here you are in a pretty good stretch of ups, both playing for Palace and playing a bunch of games with a good run for the national team this year. So I just wonder, how you're doing and how you foresee this stretch going and then beyond.
Yeah, hopefully not many more downs to come. It's been good to stay healthy, play a lot of games, and I'm happy with where I'm at right now. I'm happy with, of course I wish I was playing more for Palace, but it's competition, and hopefully once I get over, once I beat somebody out, then it's my spot to keep. But again, I enjoy playing. I enjoy being healthy. I enjoy, coming here, being with the boys. So, the lows really kind of got me ready for the highs and taught me a lot. So hopefully I can keep riding this high for as long as possible.
Next is Hector Lazzari.
Hi guys, Hector Lazzari from Claro Sports here in Mexico City. I have a question for both. Well, first for Chris. As you said, you developed in the Bayern Academy. What's the difference in the style of training you got over there comparing with the teams in the US, and what maybe is lacking or you need to add here to the academies in the US to have a better chance in 2026 and going forward? And for both guys, if you want to answer, what's the difference in preparing the matches here in CONCACAF when you have the ball all the time, not a lot of teams challenge the possession, and having to face a team like Germany that it's going to be a whole different story. They have way more better attacking players. What's the approach for a defender or a goalkeeper in the preparation? What changes comparing with the Gold Cup and other matches here in CONCACAF?
Yeah, so like I said, I did play. I kind of came up through the Bayern Academy, and it's interesting because I think in the academy growing up, or to be fair, I only played 2 years of academy in the States, but what I learned in those 2 years was we very much focused on the physical side. And then once I got over to Germany, it was all technique, all technical. I mean, you see kids out there, U12, U13, U14, they're outside on the kick wall, they're outside on the heading pendulum. So it's just different styles. I mean, like I said, I think in the U.S., not just when it comes to soccer, but to all sports, I think we tend to focus on the physical side before anything. And over in Europe, it's vice versa.
I'd say that there's not really a whole lot of difference between preparing for these games and preparing for CONCACAF games. We take every game with the same intensity and for what it is. Sometimes we see more of the ball, sometimes we have to defend a little bit more, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to win in any context. So for us, learning how to win in any context is really important. We talk about how young our group is, but we are starting to get older now, and so these experiences are really important. And you need to take care of business in CONCACAF as well as test yourselves there and in the rest of the world.
We'll take a few more questions and continue with Sean McCaffrey.
You're going to be playing not too far from home, so I wanted to know how big of a crowd you expect to have, how much support you think you may get just from being local, and also Andres sends his best.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to play in the Northeast. To be honest, it's going to be amazing. It's the closest I'll have ever played to home for the national team in a long time. So I'm expecting a very, very big turnout, more than I was able to get tickets for. That's for sure. I had to turn down some of my friends and say, hey, look, if you want to come, you're gonna have to buy it yourself, you know. So I'm really looking forward to that. Seeing my family, seeing my friends, and yeah, it's gonna be an unbelievable experience.
Next is Sanjay Sujan-Thakumar.
Thanks, Michael, and thanks, guys, for your time. Wanted to ask you about the video game FIFA, now known as EA FC. We hear a lot about how golf is a source of competition within the group. Wanted to ask you about whether it's the same thing with FIFA, and who's nice at FIFA and who maybe isn't as good but thinks they're really good. Thank you.
I mean, to be fair, I think this is the first camp we've had since the game has come out. I will say that in youth national team camps, Serginho has been the best. But I think that's because he spends all of his time indoors. You know, as soon as training's done, he will go home and play FIFA. So I will say I haven't played the new one yet because they killed my card. But, I will say that from what I've seen, I would say Serginho. But to be fair, I mean, here, golf is taking over.
Yeah, I haven't played a game of FIFA since college.
Yeah,
actually.
But see, he's got kids. That's the difference.
Yeah,
He's got kids. No, us young guys, so we play a bit of FIFA, but I'm trash, so I'll admit it right here.
That's big of you.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
Well, a quick sneak preview. Look out for Wednesday afternoon, a special matchup between Yunus Musa and Philip Forsberg, the vice captain of the Nashville Predators.
Oh, wow.
They're playing FIFA.
Stay tuned for more details.
Wow.
Okay.
Yunus better step
yeah,
up.
Fred better put on.
Our last question goes to Andrew Jones.
That's hard to top right there, Michael, on that one. I mean, I got to ask if both of you two are satisfied with your FC ranking right now on there. But
I don't know what mine is. What's mine?
I don't know, man.
What's yours?
Man, so I'm a 74 still a silver
What's
card.
The pace?
But, bro, they killed my pace. Last year I was a 78. Now I'm a 71.
Uh-oh.
They must not see me run down Anthony last year. That's what it was.
Yeah.
They must not see that game. Nah. I'm telling you. They could at least could have gotten me a gold card or something.
Yeah.
But
I don't even know what any of that means. I feel so old now.
You're playing what, FIFA 08?
Come on.
Well, the controversy continues.